Disclaimer, this video is a review of my opinion and a contains spoiler for the story. All credit goes to the people who worked on the game. Please don't take anything too seriously and enjoy the video. Thanks. Ace Combat 7 Review by WolfDog107. Enjoy. So here I am with the Ace Combat 7 review. This is a review that I've been wanting to do. It's just that I kept delaying it because there was other games I wanted to get to on reviews. But yeah. In this review, I won't be covering the VR mode, but I will be acknowledging the multiplayer and the story mode. So first off, here's some story mode gameplay, for one of the missions. And for the story, you're playing as Trigger, a brand new pilot who's just getting the hang of things. And in the beginning, basically you go through a couple missions with these other pilots that are experienced veterans in piloting or flying jets and all that. And you meet them, and you have different chat lines with them in many missions. All the characters, basically, you have different conversations with them while you're playing the game. And it's really interesting to hear the radio chatter and everything, both on your side and the enemy side. But in the story, you're playing as Trigger, a new pilot who's getting the hang of things, and on his fourth mission, on mission 4, Rescue, you're supposed to go ahead and save President Harleen. Harleen is the former president of Osea, and you and the rest of the pilots have to go in and save him. But you, at first, Trigger, has to go in and stealthily make it to the space elevator and avoid the enemy radar. Because if you hit the red dots on the radar, then you're gonna get spotted by the enemy and it's an instant game over. So then once Trigger gets past that part, you then go in and you go in to the space elevator and take out any anti-air weapons that the place has. And then once you do that, everyone else arrives, and then you have to get President Harleen out of there alive. But at one specific moment, there's a automatic missile launch that shoots down Harleen, and then everyone accuses Trigger of doing it. And that's basically where the story takes off. But before those missions, you're also told that there's these drones that Erugia made, and they launched them, and they're unpiloted drones, UAV drones, and they launched an attack on Osea, and that's how the whole war breaks out. And then you as Trigger go in to save Harleen in that one mission, and then you're accused of assassinating Harleen, and then you're brought into a prison group for criminals who were either trespassers or whatever, and then you even got ex-pilots. And then as the prisoners, you have to go out on various missions as the Spare Squad. And as the Spare Squad, Trigger is given the name Spare 15, or a call sign Spare 15. And at first, everyone mocks him and makes jokes about him, and they're all prisoners, so they're treated with disrespect because of their crimes, and they're told that if they want to get out, they have to carry out various missions and to just be good again. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say this: that the story was fantastic from what I played, and here you're watching one of the cutscenes of the game, and there's gonna be other cutscenes in this video that you'll see, but it'll just be going over like the whole Erusia drone launch thing, and then the war starts. Those are the main cutscenes that you'll be seeing, but I won't show any others because I want this to be a little bit of a spoiler-free review. But aside from the story, in the campaign missions themselves, you get different types of missions of like eliminating specific targets one after another, like in different groups, until the last one is dead, and then mission complete, or it'll give you a mission update where you have to destroy a new kind of target, and then you also get like missions where you have to build up a specific amount of points that the game tells you to, and then once you do that, a mission will be complete. And then you also get missions where you have to go in stealthily and take out specific targets and avoid specific enemies or radar or anything. And all these kinds of missions I enjoyed, especially the stealth missions, because I was like confused at first, like the stealth mission in a game where you fly jets, really? But as I played even more of the stealth missions, I really loved them a lot. Especially the one mission where you have to go in, and like this is one of the only missions that I will spoil only a little bit. But it's a stealth mission where you have to go in at night while it's raining and there's thunder going on. You have to go in through these mountains, but you have to keep low on altitude because the enemy has searchlights everywhere. So you have to make sure you avoid those searchlights while trying to cram through the narrow pathway in the air between each mountain, and you have to do that while avoiding the searchlights. And I thought it was really cool because there were some moments where I was like, oh shit, I might hit the searchlight, and then I ended up not hitting the searchlight at all, and I was like, A-okay. But yeah, so the missions, they're pretty fun and I liked them a lot. But here with the multiplayer, you get two different multiplayer modes. You got Team Deathmatch, which is obviously Team Deathmatch, and then Battle Royale. Battle Royale being a free-for-all, but you can always respawn. Well, I'm not sure how many lives there are, if it's unlimited, but I was just hosting these matches and I got pissed a little bit because it's so difficult. But the multiplayer is really fun because you get to meet up with different players and show off different emblems, and you can see that once you're playing multiplayer, it's gonna be a pain. So if you just got this game or something and you want to get it, I recommend going to the campaign mode first to learn the controls. Otherwise, if you go into just the multiplayer straight up, but after only one mission, it's gonna be a little difficult. I've already beat the story, but it was still difficult, but not too difficult as to compared to when I first played it on stream. But the multiplayer is difficult mainly because, other actual people are playing with you. There's no bots whatsoever. But it's still really fun because you get that oh shit kind of moment, and you're always dodging missiles. And the whole thing with the missiles in the game, it's a lot of missiles. That's what you're gonna mainly be using. But sometimes you will be using bombers or whatever to bomb specific ground targets. Or you'll be using your machine gun sometimes when you're at machine gun range. But in multiplayer, I wouldn't recommend using a machine gun too much, since you won't be able to land a hit if the enemy player knows what they're doing and the controls of the game. So your chances are slim of getting a hit with the machine gun in multiplayer mode. But for the Battle Royale mode, I thought it was pretty fun from what I played. It was pretty hectic though, but you would get like your plane in there and everything, and you would be able to use like different like special weapons and your missiles, the machine gun, which I wouldn't recommend using. But once you get like killed by an enemy plane, it will show who killed you and what position they're in, and then it will show a repair screen where your aircraft is being repaired, like it just showed on in the clip, and then you're back into the game, and then you can also see like health bars right below the target names and all that. And yeah, the Battle Royale was pretty fun. I'd say I was like dodging in the air a lot, as you can see, because you're gonna have to dodge a lot of missiles. And it's easy to dodge them, but sometimes it's like, how did you get hit? Because sometimes they'll come out of nowhere, and then you'll see them on the radar, and you'll be dodging them, but somehow you get hit by them. Like right here, at that point, I was a little confused, because I saw that I just got hit out of nowhere, and I was confused, because I was dodging the missiles. And yeah, so it can be a little confusing sometimes on where you get hit by from a missile. But besides that, it was pretty fun. And same goes for Team Deathmatch, only in Team Deathmatch you're actually playing with teammates, either 1, 2, or 3. And it can go up to 8 players, the Team Deathmatch mode, as well as the Battle Royale. But the Team Deathmatch is pretty fun, but you'll be like sometimes you'll be going against really good players, and sometimes good players, but then they have teammates that aren't so good, and they'll have like 0 score. And in these clips, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of those players that were in these clips, because I didn't know if they had mics or not, even if they could hear me. But if they're watching this, then shout out to all of you guys who were participating in these clips that I recorded. And yeah, just a quick shout out to them. But the way the modes work on who wins is whoever's in the lead and whoever has the most points once the timer runs out. And then there's going to be 2 spotlights. There's going to be one for whoever got first place, and then another spotlight for whoever got second place. I don't know about third and fourth place, but in Battle Royale it will only show like the first and second place spotlights, which I thought was a pretty cool feature, that they actually showcase like the best players in the match. So that was pretty cool. And then while you're waiting in the lobby menu, you can also like do different things, like check your hangar, your aircraft tree, the different aircraft sets that you have, all that. And instant radio messages as well, which are like different chat sentences that you'd want to put in chat, stuff like that. And yeah, but the aircraft tree is really good. It's basically the upgrade system / like unlocking system, where you use points from going through the game and using those points to purchase different like aircraft or parts or like different upgrades and all that. And you can also get like special weapons for each of the aircraft. And in the beginning, you'll get some good aircraft, definitely, but they just won't look so like cool as compared to the ones that you'll get during the middle of the game and later on in the game. But they're still pretty nice aircraft. But the skins for the aircraft, when you change skins, they don't really change skins. They just put like a different emblem on it instead of an actual skin. Although the Erugia skin will actually change what the aircraft skin looks like. It'll actually change it, whereas the others don't. The aircraft tree in general, though, I thought it was really good because you could find tons of aircraft. Like, I don't know how many there are to be exact, but once you complete the story mode, like the whole story, no matter what difficulty it is, you'll unlock a special aircraft towards the end, but you'll have to use points in order to get it. And you'll have to keep using points over and over until you get the certain amount you need in order to unlock that last aircraft you unlocked after beating the story. Basically, it'll make it appear in the aircraft tree all the way to the right side, which is the last jet that you can get. And yeah, but I haven't tried that aircraft out yet, but it looks badass. But yeah, I thought the aircraft tree was pretty unique, and it's a very good unlock system that you can use to progress through the game. But one other thing I'd like to touch on about the campaign missions is that when you're going through them, you can target all the different units and everything, and sometimes if you take out like a specific unit, like a ground unit of some jeeps or trucks or whatever, and then sometimes the AWACS guy will take out, or no, he'll say that that you, the player, had took out that unit, and I thought that was some pretty interesting detail. And then the different camera views as well in the game in general, they're pretty good. You get a view of the cockpit, you just get a first-person view of the radar and the HUD only, and then you also get a camera view of your entire jet itself and then the HUD, like you're seeing in these clips. And I thought it was pretty good. And the whole thing with the story and how the missions were done, I really liked all of the missions a lot. They were really well done, really well paced, and there's up to 20 missions in total. I've heard some people say there's 18 missions when that's not the case. There's 20 missions, not 18. There's 20 missions. Some people have said 18, I don't know why. Maybe they forgot or something, I don't know. But there's 20 missions in the story mode of this game. Not 18. 20. But yeah. The whole radio chatter thing, I really did like a lot though. Where characters would say specific things like, hey, Trigger took out an enemy ace. Or Trigger took out the jets in the surrounding area by the trucks, or something like that. And I thought it was really interesting. And sometimes characters will talk to each other through the radio, and then they'll be talking shit, or they'll just talking about different things, or like talking about when the war is gonna be over, or taking down the Arsenal Bird one day. And I thought it was really good. I really liked the radio chatter a lot, because it gave you a sense of feel on the characters and their personalities. Especially with characters like Tabloid or Roller, or High Roller, I mean, and other characters like AWACS, like AWACS Bandog, or any of the other AWACS in the game. I forgot their names. But yeah, the story is really fun. And it's really interesting. You get to see multiple different characters that are given actual spotlights instead of boring outcast background characters that you see in movies. But yeah, the story was fantastic. I loved it a lot. The the multiplayer itself, I really enjoy. It's that it's a little frustrating because you'll get missile spammed a lot, and in the multiplayer match you only get like 4 or 6 flares, and that's it. You don't get any more than that, and it can get annoying because you always have to do high G turns to avoid missiles while attacking your target. And you can see in these clips I can't even land a scratch on them with my minigun, because every time I'm doing so, they're turning at the same time, and I have to use high G turns in order to avoid the missiles. And then the missiles would turn back at you, even though you got away from them, and it was just a whole mess. So that part I didn't like. The whole dodging missiles while having to fight your targets. It was okay, but it didn't work out too well because there was lots of missile spam. But I won't say that it ruined anything. I'm just saying it kind of fell short a little bit. Not too much. But other than that, the multiplayer was really fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's just that it can be frustrating if you're not too good at the game yet. So I'd recommend going through the story mode first, and then multiplayer. Once you finish the story mode, or at least gotten halfway through, or like 15 missions through, then you can try multiplayer again. But yeah, just go through story mode first, and then multiplayer. But as you can see in this clip, my team won, Team Bravo, but you can also see that Alpha 2, which is just Boom 25, he got 0 points. And that was really interesting to me because you could see that sometimes other players are just going right in, and they're not too good yet, and they haven't gotten like any good matches in, or like they're just starting out, and I feel bad for them because it's like either they did play through a story and they're playing through multiplayer and they know the controls, it's just that other players are too good for them. But then it's like maybe they just went straight into multiplayer. And yeah, I feel like the whole multiplayer was pretty fun though. No matter what, I'd say the multiplayer was pretty good. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not gonna be talking about VR because I'm not gonna hook that damn thing back up again. I'm just not gonna hook it back up. And 2, I've only heard you can do like 3 missions in VR, which makes sense since it was their first attempt and everything. And they also said that that the VR story is before the main game story of the actual game. But yeah, I just don't really feel like hooking up my VR again. But one thing I will know is that I've heard good things about it. That the realism is very, very up there. And that it could feel really fun. And that you really have to watch out for some of the planes. But, yeah. But, another thing I want to hit on is the season pass. It's great, but one thing that pisses me off is the fact that they decided to put the music player in the season pass only, not in the base game. So really, you can't really listen to the music at all in the game unless you're playing through missions. And you can't listen to music at all in the menu. Not like through like some option that you can click on to go to it, because that feature, which is the music player, is not in the base game. It's in the fucking season pass. And the season pass is like what, $15, $20, $35 or something? Like, come on, man. Come on, Bandai Namco. What are you doing? Why are you gonna make the season pass. Well, no, not the season pass price matters, but why you can put the freaking music player in the freaking season pass like that? Couldn't you put it in the base game? I mean, come on. Let's be real here. They could have put it in the base game, but they didn't. But besides that, for the season pass, you get 3 aircraft and 3 new missions, and I forgot what else besides the music player. But I haven't bought it yet, so I can't really say anything about that stuff. Plus, I don't think that content released like right when the game came out, and I think the season pass content comes out like later or something. I don't really know, cause it's almost been a whole month now since the game released, and yeah. But overall the game was really fun. I enjoyed all my time with it. I really liked the story a lot, and the music especially. I just listened to one of the tracks for like one of the missions in the game the whole time, like at school when I'm going to school. I'll just put on my wireless Bluetooth headphones and then I'll just go ahead and listen to that one track. And that track is Daredevil, and it's like an instrumental. And you only get like you don't really get too much of lyrics in it at all, to be honest, because it's mainly an instrumental, so you only get like human like voice sounds, stuff like that. But the track Daredevil mixed really well in the mission that it was given, and I won't say which mission it is, because I want the player to experience that themselves. But I'm telling you right now that mission with that track Daredevil is amazing. I mean, seriously. It's an amazing track, and it fit really well with the mission that it was given. Overall, going over the final details of the game, I'd say the whole features of like being able to customize different aircraft with different options, giving them like specific parts that you can use to upgrade your character or aircrafts, like missile speed, or like lock-on speed, or like you can upgrade the aircrafts like different like yaws and pitch maneuvers and everything like that. I thought that was a really nice feature. I also like the whole thing of being able to review like different cutscenes and going back to different missions that you can replay. And yeah, overall the story in the campaign mode and missions for the story mode, all fantastic. Great characters, great music, fantastical music, and the best story I've ever heard in a video game to date. Going from previous games in previous years, since the PS4 versus Xbox One whole thing started back in 2013. I'd say the story really lived up to my expectations even more than I was hoping, because it brings you really interesting characters that have different emotions, and it plays well with the whole story and how it goes down, of trying to get rid of the space elevator, and then some people just wanting to get rid of Osea, or then people wanting to get rid of Erusia, and then you get like different character deaths, and then I don't know, it was just a really good story. I liked it a lot. It's not your basic bare bones story. Well, okay, I guess it kind of is basic, but it's not too basic, because you also get like this whole like not just a story between the characters, but you also get the story about the war that they're in. And then some characters are related to past games in the series. Like, you get Nagase, who is a different call sign in the game. She has an appearance, and she's from previous games. You also get like Mihai, and actually no, I think Mihai is a different character that was just introduced in this game. But you get like mentions of the previous wars, like one of the characters, Scrap Queen. She like has like a whole story about like hating her father for like going to war for like fighting a mission that he died in, and then you get like mentions of the previous wars and how they led up to this very moment in this war, and I like that a lot. So overall, the story, the missions, the characters, I loved it all. Especially the radio chatter as well. So yeah. The story, 10 out of 10. Could have there been more missions than 20? I guess, but I think what we got was really well done no matter what. And I give them props for creating an actual game. Because this isn't just your run-of-the-mill flight simulator. No, it's not even a flight simulator at all. It's an arcade flight shooter. Down to the bone. And it wanted the player to enjoy it so much. And it nailed that. Because you get these really beautiful graphics that I, for one, don't really care about graphics too much. They don't really matter what they look like to me, as long as I can tell what I'm supposed to be looking at. But in this game, the graphics are phenomenal. You get different like weather effects, which are actually a new addition to the series, starting with Ace Combat 7 itself. You get like the clouds, where if you go inside the clouds during missions, your plane will ice up a little bit. And then if you ice up too much, you'll start stalling and dropping to the floor. And yeah, the whole weather effects were really well done. And overall, I really loved the radio chatter, the story, the gameplay, the multiplayer, the characters, the aircraft, the aircraft tree, different weapons you can use for your aircraft. Everything was spot on. I really liked it. And you get the interesting characters that have really cool conversations together. And then sometimes when one of them will die while trying to fight another jet, then one of the other characters that actually cares for that person will be like, no! And stuff like that. And it was really interesting because you get a feel of who that character was and how the others felt for that character. And it was really well done and really well paced. They had multiple different characters I cared about, not just Trigger, the character that the player plays as, but like some of the AWACS characters. You care for Tabloid, Count, everyone. You care for these characters. Like honestly, and you'd even care for the Princess of Erusia, Scrap Queen, and many other characters that are in there. Even some of the enemy characters like Mihai. He just wants to live his life in the sky, and he wants to be happy. And he feels that if he gets that taken away from him, he won't be happy anymore. And I just thought that was really nice. Even for Wiseman here, one of the characters. He's a really cool character because he admires Trigger for his skill in battle. And I love that. The characters were given really well done detail. And I loved it a lot. So overall, the story, 10 out of 10. Flat out 10 out of 10. No matter what. The multiplayer, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Because I do feel like that some of it can be a little unfair. Because sometimes you're put up against like players that are really higher ranks than you. And they have actual more experience than you. And then the missile spam can be a little difficult to deal with when you have not only that to deal with, but also some targets that are going against you. And then you want to find those targets and take them out, but you can't do it with your machine gun because they're always going to be turning around and you won't be able to hit them, whereas you can in the campaign mode. But in multiplayer mode, you can't hit your opponents with the machine gun at all. There's like at least like a 7% chance of hitting them with the machine gun. So really your only chances are of winning in multiplayer mode are flares, missiles, yaws, and then pitch maneuvers and everything like that. But yeah, overall, the multiplayer I'd say was an 8 out of 10. Story 10 out of 10. Like I said before, I'm not counting VR in this review because it's just there, not too much really. Plus I haven't really wanted to play it. I thought it was pretty cool, but I haven't played it myself. I've only heard good things about it. But yeah, overall this game was fantastic. I'd say it's a 9 out of 10. Mainly because some of the stuff in like multiplayer fell short, to be honest. But I will say that it at least kept my expectations high, and I was proud with what I got. Because this game is a game that was given love. Because most games out there are just given nothing. They're bare bones to the ground, nothing. They don't mean anything to the people that worked on them. They're just thrown out in the trash. Whereas this game was given proper attention and enough time to develop over the years. And I first heard about this game one time, and I saw it one of the trailers, and I was instantly excited for it. Because my first Ace Combat was Ace Combat 4 on PlayStation 2. Shattered Skies. And I ended up playing that game for a long ass time. And I thought this game would be my return to the series. And it was. And it is to this day. A return to a once very unique franchise that was created by one of the most trusted developers that in my opinion is most trusted and is very respectful and knows how to make a video game properly compared to other companies out there. But yeah, this game, Ace Combat 7, is a 9 out of 10. A true return to the Ace Combat series. I hope you enjoyed this review of Ace Combat 7. Wolfdog107